Okay, I guess that's the start sign for this webinar, the joint webinar by EUSPA and EBN on space technologies for farming. Welcome. Just to let you know, this is a first webinar in a series of 5. In 2020, EUSPA and EBN will be exploring the potential of data from satellites and showcasing how we can unlock new business opportunities. We'll be dealing with topics ranging from consumer solutions and IoT, energy and raw materials, and maritime, and solutions to support the environmental and green transformation. My name is Bram Powell, Strategic Communication and Partnership Manager at EBN. Thank you for joining. I suggest let's start and take a deep dive into how space data can enrich the agricultural sector, the topic of today. We're joined today by colleagues from EUSPA, Marqueta and Joaquin, which you also see in the screen. Uniquely for the audience from the EUBIC community, which is facilitated by EBN, and for the EUSPA stakeholders, Marqueta and Joaquin will showcase ideas and innovative solutions utilizing Europe's GNSS system and Earth observation services in agricultural and forestry. Specifically tailored to the audience today, a mix of EUSPA stakeholders and EUBICs, members of the EBN network. We focus on entrepreneurial solutions, supporting a digital, productive, and sustainable environment. Thank you for joining us today, Marqueta and Joaquin. Marqueta will be there for sure with us all 5 episodes, as you co-hosting with me this series. We're very thankful for EUSPA for this opportunity. And before we introduce the agenda, maybe some household rules. Like mentioned before, the webinar is being recorded. You can turn off your camera if you want and change your name and your screen name so you remain anonymous. Kindly ask you to mute your microphones during the presentations. There will be 3 presentations, a very short one by me, followed by Marqueta and by Joaquin. There will be opportunities after each section to ask your questions. I will ask you to put them in the chat of the application. Could be that we pick out the question already in between the webinar, but at least there is a substantial Q&A section at the end of this 1-hour webinar. Let's have a look what we're dealing with today. Very briefly, we'll be focusing on mainly, of course, space technologies for farming, presented by Joaquin. He will use a few use cases as well. But before that, Marqueta will explain briefly about the EU space program and the opportunities within. And I will kick off for now with a quick explanation of what is EBN. Our members will know, of course, but for the broader audience as well, and a bit more about the EUBIC community. No further questions. Let me quick off. EBN, as people everywhere grapple for solutions, there is no doubt that technology is destined to be central to addressing our shared global challenges. EBN serves organizations that use business and innovation as a force for regional, economic, sustainable, and social development. They are recognized, these organizations, by the EUBIC certification, and we connect them via the EUBIC community. Briefly, EUBICs use the best possible actions to create thriving startups and SMEs. They work in industries ranging from space, deep tech, AI, medtech, smart materials, and agri-food, and the whole range. Yet the key feature of EUBICs is that they're taking real steps to ensure that their services are best advantageous to their clients and best advantageous to their regions. This follows to the origin of why EBN was founded and why the EUBIC concept was founded. As of 2021, there are now roughly 110 quality certified EUBICs and 30 associate members in over 35 countries, shaping the European or even the global EUBIC community. Even though from a diverse background, ranging from being accelerators, incubators, and science park, academia, and technology transfer organizations, what unites us is that our members are rally around our community's 4 mission commitments, which are, well, already mentioned: regional development in the broadest sense, delivering best quality business support. An idea of how that works is compared to the EU average. Startups supported by EUBICs outperforming first and 5-year survival rates. Thirdly, we support in providing access to finance, and we contribute to scaling European innovation. This is about the EU BIC community, about EBN, the European Business and Innovation Center Network. We facilitate, or we proudly facilitate, and support this pan-European global community of people using innovative business as a driver for regional sustainable economic development. What do we do? EBN's activities include the EU BIC certification, co-design and distribution of quality business support programs. We do a fair share of facilitation of project collaborations, global networking, and a piece of advocacy for excellent business support actors like the EU BICs. Now, before handing over to Marketa in a moment, just to point out, and I think this is important, echoing the words of Commissioner Breton, who presented the EU Space Program today in light of the green and digital transition at the European Space Conference. As Europeans, we've set the objective of a climate neutral EU by 2050. And I think all of us here in this session believe that innovation and technology are essential to reach the objectives of mitigating climate change. Up till today, agriculture, unfortunately, is the leading source of pollution in many countries, with environmental issues such as deforestation, pollutants, soil degradations, and waste. There won't be a single silver bullet solution. We're aware of that. Making a difference will require the adoption and skill of hundreds of solutions, each targeting a specific problem. And among others, from this context, EBN and the EU BIC community and our partners are very pleased to collaborate with EUSPA and the broader European space sector towards building a green, digital, and fair society, ambitiously making Europe the hub for solving global challenges, powered by innovation, technology, and the ingenuity of entrepreneurial innovators. On this note, I'm very pleased to give the word to Marketa to introduce EUSPA and share some of the many opportunities available within the EU Space Program.
Thank you very much, Bram, and thank you very much for the opportunity to being here to reach to your audience. I will share my screen now, and before Joaquin jump in a detail in a farming sector, I would like to introduce EUSPA and its activities for entrepreneurs, startups, and innovators. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see the slides? Can you confirm, Bram, please?
Perfect, good to go.
Okay, great, thank you. So let me introduce myself. My name is Marketa Gladyshev. I'm consultant for market development team of EUSPA, and I'm mainly following activities for startups and entrepreneurs involving organization of hackathons, competitions, but also connecting startups with accelerators, with investors, and further following them and supporting them on the way when they're implementing space data in their business. First of all, let me introduce EUSPA. It's European Union agency for the space program, and it's responsible for European space programs covering Galileo, which is Global Satellite Navigation and Positioning System, EGNOS, that makes navigation signals more accurate and reliable, Copernicus, which is Earth observation and monitoring based on both satellite and non-satellite data, and GovSatcom that focuses on governmental sector. It secures satellite communications for EU governmental sector actors. EUSPA took under its wings Copernicus and GovSatcom last year, but when it comes to Galileo and EGNOS, there's been years of work. Not only former GSA and now EUSPA was responsible for operation of the two programs, but also for market development. And there has been some achievements. I will highlight few. For example, there are 2 billion Galileo-enabled smartphones on the market. And there are more than 50 car brands selling Galileo-enabled and EGNOS-enabled models. There are more than 350 EGNOS-enabled airports and more than 700 EGNOS-based approach procedures in European countries. And another example, because we are talking about farming and agriculture today, that 97% of new tractors in Europe using GNSS to optimize agriculture. There are different activities EUSPA is doing for companies and startups. I will describe the main groups. First of all, Horizon Europe programs that stimulate development of applications. There is now one call open with a deadline in February. After my presentation, I will send a link to chat so you can explore this opportunity. Then there are fundamental elements. This focuses on development of hardware, meaning antennas, receivers, for example. Then adoption grants. This focuses rather than innovation to in identification of some gap on the market, and these grants support filling up the gap. So it's, for example, some retrofit solutions. And finally, entrepreneurship initiatives that covers stimulating innovative ideas, so activities like hackathons, but also activities that accelerate these ideas. So, for example, currently, EUSPA is working on My EU Space competition that challenges startups and innovators to either develop a prototype or marketable product. And after this presentation, I will send you a link where you can find all the current activities for the startups, but I would like to highlight and invite you for two things. First one is Space Crossroads, which is a regular webinar, but very interactive webinar that EUSPA organizes. It focuses on startup community, both from space industry, but not only for space industry. And we invite different kind of guests. For example, last time we had a guest expert in Copernicus, and he was practically explaining how space data can be incorporated in the business. He made some tutorial, but we also invite some business guests. So this is a very good platform and community where startups might join if they're interested in. And one more actual thing is that EUSPA today published market report, both Earth observation and GNSS market report. It's joint report for the first time, and it gives very great overview of the GNSS and Earth observation market. So if you are interested in implementing space data in the business, I think that this is a really good start where to get the knowledge. So I will also share the link to this. And I will give now floor to Joaquin to give you a presentation about farming. One more organizational thing, if you have any question in mind, you can either save it for a Q&A at the end, or please type it in chat, and we will address them either during the presentation or at the end. So thank you very much. And I will stop sharing my screen. And Joaquin, please, you can continue.
Yes, so thanks a lot, Marketa. Thanks a lot, Bram, for inviting us. So I will take care of the presentation just in the exactly same point that you left it, Marketa. So my name is Joaquín Reyes. I'm also working in EUSPA, basically dealing and enjoying the agriculture, forestry, and farming in general topics. So this is what I am doing. So if everything goes fine, I can continue. It's all good? Okay. So the first point is, okay, where we are now in agriculture, or where we are now in farming. We are listening several times about this technology, and maybe thinking about farming is just the tractor, but it's not really the case. I mean, we have plenty of technology, and of course, space technology. So I do like to say that now we are in the farming 5.0, even if we have a lot of tendencies that they are insisting to be in the 4.0. But I mean, at the end, the number is not the important one. The thing is how this farming and how this agriculture technology evolved in all these 100 years, 120 years, and how is possible that a tractor that is just a tool is becoming more and more important, and is becoming more and more dependent of this space technology. So thinking about what is the picture today, the farmer is not in the center anymore. I mean, the farmer is part of the ecosystem. Of course, is important one. We need to take care of him or her. But the thing is now the farming itself is a lot of people, a lot of technology, and a lot of tools. Of course, when we are talking about the space, we are talking about EGNOS and Galileo in particular, maybe GNSS in general, but also including Copernicus with all this Earth observation. But the key point here is how to combine all this space technology with drones, with meteorological data, with IoT, and how is possible that the farmer, in a general concept, is able to also analyze this big data that is not big data anymore. Is the important one is to have smart data, and also allow him or her to discuss or to cross-check with advisors, with external people, that they don't have to be really located in the farmer. So in the farm. So the thing is, if we go to the next slide, is okay, how important is agriculture today, or how important is farming today? So we have a clear mandate, that is we need to improve, and we need to be more sustainable. And for this, Europe in general is creating the European Green Deal in general again, but this includes the farm to fork strategy. It means that we need to take care about the complete value chain, from the farm until the fork, from when we are producing the food until we are really eating the food. And just to give a few numbers that are indeed impressive, only 12 billion of farmers, that maybe looks like they are too many, but only 12 million of farmers in Europe, in EU, in Europe, they are managing and they are responsible of half of the land, almost half of the land in EU. So 48% of the land in EU is dedicated to farming, and this land is, let's say, used and controlled by only 12 million of farmers. So when I was saying that we need to take care about the farmer, about the figure of the farmer, is because we need to really encourage and motivate them to continue doing the job, and to continue doing their job in a very sustainable way. So when we are talking about farming, I also like to point to forest, okay? Because at the end, when we are talking about farming, is not just the agriculture, the production, it's also taking care about the forest. Of course, we need wood, we need plenty of material, but we need to take care of all these things. And here, GNSS and also Earth observation is really playing an important role. So if I can do the same approach and the more or less the same analogy that I did with the agriculture or with the farming in general for forest, is more or less the same. We have plenty of technology, we have plenty of tools. The let's say the extension is much more bigger. The time is different because what we are doing in 1 year in farming is what we need to do in 10 years in forest. And for this, in Europe, we have the forest information system, and this is a way to put all the tools and to make all the, let's say, the force, all the utilities all together and try to again optimize and take care about the environment. Then, if I need to look forward, or if I can open the technology, not only focus on space, but how this space technology is allowing to develop additional technology. Like, for example, when we are talking about how to use EGNOS and Galileo, we can talk about positioning and navigating the UAVs, the drones. Or, for example, when we are talking about Galileo, Galileo is the only GNSS constellation providing authentication. And in this case, we can use this authentication for georeferencing and for, let's say, using this information for providing and filling the logbook and providing all the information to the paying agencies, for example, and being able to really confirm that the information that the user is sending and is controlling is the real one. For sure, we are talking about 5G, about LIDAR. They are not competing with this GNSS. They are just helping, and the future is to fusion and to use all this technology together. And talking about robots, I think that it won't be possible to talk about robots without GNSS, without positioning, and so on. And the next step is to allow all these robots to analyze the information and see the things as a human is able to see. So this is why we are calling augmented reality and computer vision, because this is when we need to really improve the quality of the life of the farmers and just minimize the tasks that are monotone and they are always the same. So I am always referring to the guy who has to control the same fields 8 hours per day, just controlling that everything is going fine. This is something that you can do with the robot. It's not meaning that you are not needing this support anymore. It's just that the quality of the life of the person that is in charge of this task can be better, and the job can be a higher level. Okay, so in case that I didn't manage to really convince the audience that we need space technology, let me allow to remark that, I mean, improving and improving doesn't mean that we need bigger machinery. Okay, it's not like we need to do more, so let's put bigger things, because all these machinery, they also have limitations. So the thing is to use the machinery that we really need and the size that we really need. I am not against big machinery, but if you need big machinery, it's fine. But the solution is not always the big machinery. The solution should be to optimize and to use the machinery that we need for the task that we need. Okay, and then I am saying this because, okay, even today we are already using a lot of space technology, and the thing is, you don't really appreciate what you have until you lose it. Okay, so the thing is, what happens if we forget today about this space technology? Imagine to come back to the normal life without using all this space technology. So this is what will happen, more or less. I mean, we need to come back to analyzing, or even, I mean, if we want to do the same, this is the way that we need to do. Just going close to the field, going with just one spray line by line that is not really feasible, or forget about this control about the production and so on. So the clear message of today and why we need space technology in farming is because less is more. So here, what we need to do is, okay, EGNSS Earth observation in the agriculture technology. What we need to do is use less fuel, less water, and generate less emissions and improve and increase the efficiency. For sure, thinking about the future, that will be has to be a more sustainable one. And of course, why not? I mean, increase the production. I mean, at the end, production means profit. We are not against the population is growing. So what we need to do is also increase the production. But this doesn't have to mean that, okay, we are spending more just to produce more. I mean, we need to produce more using less. So when I am talking about the space technology, and I try to explain to a farmer, okay, how he or she can use this space technology. For me, the most difficult question is when, okay, because it's easy to convince and to tell, okay, the space technology is there, but how and especially when this technology can be used. So here, what I would like to do is represent the cycle of 1 year in the case of agriculture, maybe 10 years in the case of forestry. But the thing is, there is time for everything. Okay, so there is time for being with the computer and calculating and planifying the year and how the production will be. There is time to analyze. There is time to do work on the field. And there is also time to harvest and to move forward. So the thing is, we really need to understand that the use of the space technology is not, let's say, during all the time and during the whole year, because there is time for planning and there is time for use this outcome and then getting productive. Because at the end, it's true that the technology can be addictive. I mean, and you can really enter in the loop that you are really investing in new technology. But if you don't use it, if you don't go to the field, if you don't really make and materialize this help, at the end, it's not really helping. So the thing is, we need to use the proper technology in the proper time. This is what we are calling optimization. Okay, so going to the next one is how adopted is today in agriculture and in forestry. Okay, so basically talking about GNSS or EGNSS, the European GNSS, we are talking about EGNOS and about Galileo. EGNOS means that we are augmenting the performance of the GPS, and we are providing this integrity. So when we launched the EGNOS in 2005, 2009, this will be 0. And now this adoption is increasing and is almost 100%. So as Marqueta was remarking, today, when you are buying a tractor, it's basically coming with EGNSS equipment. For Galileo was more or less the same. We were working at the beginning to increase this adoption. But once the service was declared, this is when we had the ramp up. And then this is when Galileo was really adopted and was where we realized that the Galileo was already there. And this is basically automatic. All the GNSS receiver manufacturers, they are implementing little by little the Galileo, because we are able to convince them that this is a good opportunity. And when I am talking about EDAS, about EGNOS, is also talking about EDAS. There is the EGNOS data access system. That is where we can access to all the data, and of course for free. I mean, I didn't remark this point until now, but okay, the signal is coming from the space. The signal is free available, and you can use these European services without the need of paying any fee. So what we are putting here an example is that even if you don't have, or you may have any issue with the signal in space, or when you want to cross-check or get a better accuracy with a smartphone, you can use also EDAS, that is getting the corrections, the EGNOS corrections using a smartphone, and then you will get the RTK performance. And what does it mean that we put all together? So at the end, the ideal point is that the farmer when she or he is going to the field, is able to check all the information. This simple image demonstrates that there is a lot of technology behind this image. So here, basically, we have a tablet that, of course, is getting the position using GNSS. And thanks to this position, is using internet or preload maps that were obtained using Earth observation. So you can really go to the field and use all this technology with colors, because I mean, farming, I am usually saying that is the simple, the simplest market segment, because the user wants to use a simple technology. So there is no need to overcomplicate the technology. Just to provide the results in a clear point of view, you can put colors, and then you will really understand. I am usually remember when I was explaining this, and I was with a farmer close to me. She was telling me, yeah, but I don't really need this technology. I already have my tablet. I already have my internet service provider. I don't need anything about what you are telling to me. And I say, okay, so just show me what you have in mind. And then he was showing something like this. And then it's okay, this is when you realize that they are not even able to understand all this, but they consider that it's natural. I mean, just that the tablet is able to do all the work, and then this information is really, really appreciated. So, talking about success histories, how we can use, or how EUSPA is funding the opportunities. This is basically closing the loop, just giving some example about the success histories and how we can use this space technology, but maybe not only in the nominal way. Okay, so I will go to this 6. Maybe starting with this one is an open source project. Is how to use this authentication or geotag pictures that we were discussing about in a smartphone. So the idea here is to be able to take photos, geotag photos with a smartphone, and being able to upload these photos to a server in order to be cross-checked or used for our future needs. Here, thanks to Galileo, we are increasing the accuracy, because in Galileo we have double frequency that is also supported by the smartphone. We can go against manipulation of the data, because as I was saying, with Galileo we can provide this authentication layer, and we can integrate and customize for different users, because it's open source, so anybody can download and use it. And this is very useful for all the common agriculture policy, for the IACs, where the PA9s are really controlling, and they are really having some issues being able to cope all the fields. So this is just an example that you can use. You can do just using your smartphone, nothing else. Okay. If I want to make an example, what we did is, okay, in this particular case, is not 100% agriculture, because we went to the parking lot, just to be sure what is the difference about tracking or doing a path with a smartphone that is only GPS, not using Galileo, and with a smartphone that is using dual frequency of Galileo. So this is basically the difference. I can tell you that is 3 times, looks very similar, but it's 3 times. And you realize what is the importance of using Galileo in a smartphone, using this dual frequency that only all the Galileo satellites are providing, because GPS, they have some dual frequency satellites, but not all of them. So if I need to jump for a very easy application to a very, let's say, complicated or different one, because here we are using GNSS not for positioning, or not only for positioning, is also using the reflectometry of these GNSS signals to cross-check the information that we can get using Earth observation on Copernicus. So when you download the information from Copernicus, you realize that sometimes there are gaps, and there are difficulties to really understand what is happening due to the limitations of the clouds and everything. So with this easy solution that looks easy because at the end it's just flying a drone over a forest, you are able to analyze this reflected signal or GNSS signal, and then cross-checking this one and analyzing, and even more important, correlating this refraction, you are able to analyze what is behind and what is on the ground. Then, following more or less with the same technology, but in this case, it's a very big, or what we are calling ARPAs, because at the end is more an aircraft than a drone. This kind of ARPAs, they are able to fly for 10 hours. They are able to really do long distance. And at the end, thanks to also this combination between GNSS and reflectometry, you are able to map the water of several fields. So at the end, you can cross-check and again correlate the information coming from Copernicus with this information that you are getting using ARPAs, and then the information that you have available will be again more smart data and not only big data. Going to daily basis, everybody, more or less, I think that everybody is drinking milk. So the message of this project is, let's try to improve the quality of the food of the coast, and then we will get a better milk. Just is 1 + 1. So in this case, what we want to do is we have a robot that is able to check and analyze what is the wheat that the cows are eating, and then destroy, because they are using electric and laser tools, so no chemicals, destroy the wheat that are not the ones, and at the end the ones that they don't have to eat. So in this case, we have also two versions. One is the cheap one for entry market. The other one, we have a big one. So in this particular case, you can see how a simple idea can really do a very, very complicated work. And this is autonomous. Using solar panel, you can forget about the robot, because the robot can be absolutely autonomous. So going out to the project that is making the life easier, okay? Because we are talking about production, we are talking about improving the quality of life. But imagine that you are working on a greenhouse and you need to control thousands of tomato plants, okay? So working 8 hours on this task can be really, really boring, okay? So the idea is this robot is able to walk around the greenhouse using the signal even inside of the greenhouse, because one of the benefits of Galileo is that we have a special signal called ALBOC, and this signal is less, I mean, is being affected less for this refraction of the roof of the greenhouse. So thanks to this signal coming from Galileo, the robot is able to navigate itself inside of the greenhouse, and with the use of camera and articulated arm, this robot can monitor all the plants, and they can provide a map without the need of having a human or of having a person walking all the time. And in this case, what you can do is you can detect any pest in an early stage, so you can really focus on this point, and then not let's say use chemicals as general treatment, because if you have a greenhouse, what you are using is, okay, if I want to go against any pest, what I will do is I will expand and I will use chemicals during the whole greenhouse, and then is the safe position. In this case, the robot is able to detect and is able to treat the pest, and this is again thanks to the special signals of Galileo. And then maybe the last one, just because I really love the wineries, and I think that this also talking about pleasure. Why not to talk about wine? this robot is able to control all the wires. So in principle, the wires are getting bigger and bigger, and it's a lot of work. As I was saying, we need to really use and optimize the time, and you cannot optimize this time if you don't have the information. So if you measure all the parameters and you are able to get the information, then you can again cross-check with Earth observation. You can use the higher accuracy of Galileo. You can even authenticate your position and use this one for administrative purposes. And then you can generate the reports of the production. So this is a clear example about a polyvalent robot that can work alone in a wine field, and then can really provide you a complete report with all the information available. So going to the last slide, and maybe here is the moment to challenge, because before was the success stories. This is what somebody did and it works. But now it's time to think, okay, what we can do. I mean, what is a hit? How you can really think twice and really get something that will help us to create maybe, why not, agriculture 6.0, or for sure a more sustainable and a more productive and more efficient farming in the future. So basically, we need to use communications. So it's clear that we will need internet. We need autonomous machinery. I was remarking that only 12 million of farmers, and this number is unfortunately decreasing. So the thing is, we need autonomous machinery. Is the way to avoid and to motivate, especially young people, to work on farming. We need to combine cropping. We need to achieve the environment when you have all working together, interoperating. One farmer in one place can operate with another one in another place. Talking about the technology, smart data is a key point here, with a higher and increased accuracy. Of course, the smartphone, the tablets are always in the hand of every farmer. I think that now what we realize is that they are using less and less the computer. They don't really need the computer. What they have is a smartphone, is a tablet. They are accessing to the information. They are even able to check this information while they are driving and seated in the tractor, and then is again providing a better life, because in this case they can use the time that they are seated for working, and when they arrive home they don't need to be in front of the computer. And then vertical farming is the new concept. I mean, so if we want to keep the surface that is dedicated, we need to use several layers. And I am leaving for the end the sustainability, because I think that this is what we really need to take care. We need to be, for sure, more sustainable and thinking about a better planet, and even improve what we already did, and just try to mitigate the effects of the previous technology. So I think that this is all for the starting point. I don't know if we have any kind of question. I think that would be nice to have a little bit of discussion. So if anybody has any kind of questions.
Joaquin, I can see one question in chat. Carla is asking, or can you see, or should I?
Yeah, I can see. How Scorpion.
Yeah.
The pesticides application. I think that here we are missing a little bit the idea, but in principle, what we are looking here is to detect, and of course spray with the robot. So For a very small treatment, you can use this deposit that you have in the robot. So this robot is able to manage. For a long or for a huge dissemination is still not the case, and we need another solution like autonomous tractors or smaller. But this project, this our Horizon 2020 project, is the demonstration about how the robot and how the automatization can be put in place in a very practical way. So maybe answering the question in an easy way, there is a small deposit that you can use for a small treatment, but for a long and huge distance, you need additional tools that, of course, will be supported with information of the robot.
Thank you, Joaquin. I think that is the final question. How can we be members of EU PIC? I'm more than happy to follow up directly with you, Rotail. I think I can post my email address here. Marqueta, any closing words from your end?
Well, if there are not any other questions, I would like to thank everyone for participating here. I hope it was useful information for you. And I would like to thank you, Bram, for this opportunity to organize the webinar together. There will be 4 more webinars, so stay updated. And if you are interested in other topics like consumer solutions and so on, you are very welcome to join the next episode. So thank you. And I see also another question. So I think we still have some time.
Perfect.
So maybe we can take care of this.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. So the idea is, are the projects presenting collaborating? For example, can be the case that the Scorpion project collaborates with Green Patrol in order to decide how optimize the time. The answer is yes. I mean, the idea of the Horizon 2020 project is to develop an application. Okay, as Marqueta was saying, these kind of calls, they are looking for ideas, and we are in average founding the 70%, even more, because if it's a public entity or research center, they are getting 100% of the funding. So the idea is that they need to develop an idea. These are research and development projects. So the idea is that they are able to develop a product. So what we are basically looking for is taking the proposal, finding the best proposal, and then help to the consortium to develop the application in a let's say in a complete way. Then once the application is developed and the product exists in the market, it's usually up to the proper consortium to develop further and to talk together. It's true that we are organizing workshops in order to allow the networking, and what we are calling also info days, that is putting all together in the same meeting or virtual meeting, because today we are more and more often talking about virtual meetings. And in these meetings room, the developers and the consortium of one project can talk to another. What is also important to highlight here is while Green Patrol is already concluded and is a success project, and we have already this product in the market, a Scorpion project is still under development. So in principle, I think that there is room of collaboration. Green Patrol will be more than welcome to collaborate with them, but I think that they are not playing in the same league. So I think that as we have time and was let's say referred, I will try to put a video, because usually the videos are not working in this kind of presentations. So let me see if you can see the video. The video is basically the Green Patrol robot moving, and when I'm always watching this video, I can imagine if I have to be the person in charge of monitoring and checking the tomato plants, I will really appreciate the idea of having this robot that is able to do the work. And then my work will be to cross-check and analyze the data, correlate the data, and for sure reduce the use of pesticides. And in the same way that the previous video is explaining how the robot is monitoring, in this video is what we are calling the ET video. If you remember the movie from Steven Spielberg, is this what I mean reminds me when Elliot is going with start racing the bicycle and so on. So the idea is to provide the information. As you can see, the GNSS antenna is on top of the arm. So during the whole time we have an accurate position, so we can really see where this treatment is done. So I think that I can continue for several hours, but I don't really want to jeopardize the teaching. I think that there are more questions in the chat. Okay.
Yes, I think it was the great video, Joaquin. Good feedback as well. Thank you, Pedro. Are these projects hiring scientists? If so, where is this information advertised? Also via Pedro. I believe it was related to the former project.
Sorry?
I believe it was related to the former project, Scorpion.
I mean, today I have to admit that there is a huge gap of, let's say, high qualified people working on projects. Okay, so I put the links of the projects, and in the links of the project you can see the consortium. The consortium means that you have several companies. What I can, for example, say again using I will take another project, okay, Pur Galirumi. So for example, when I was presenting the projects, I was putting here the website of the project, and on top, I mean, just above the website, you have the logos of the companies that are working in the consortium. Okay. So today, using all the tools that we know, LinkedIn or whatever, you can really follow all the companies and, of course, check for opportunities. There are plenty of them. I mean, I am not monitoring, but I'm sure that they are. I mean, I know that they are facing several difficulties to find, especially young and motivated people looking for new talents and new ideas and this. Okay, so is the market update of the plot presented? Yeah, I think that here we can refer to the market report that is super, I mean, raw because it's just coming from the oven, is presented today. So have a look, and then you will see all the portfolio. And of course, in the EUSPA webpage, we have a special and dedicated area for all the projects that we are managing.
Yes, I'm sending the useful links, so the market report and the page with all the project portfolio. And I can see one more question from Joel.
Yes. Okay, I think that what you are basically asking, Joel, is how we can motivate young people to use this technology, because it's true that with the old school, I don't want to talk about the old people, but the old school people, because there are plenty of them, and they are still young, but they are old school, and they are all people that they are new school. So it's really difficult to demonstrate. What I am always recommending is put them in a easy situation where the things are working. Okay, because if you try to sell a GNSS or a very complicated solution with complicated words, is I mean is really almost impossible. Okay, so my recommendation is always keep it super simple. So this is KISS methodology, and try to put very concrete case that is fully applicable to the person, and then allow him to or her to try, and that's all. So I think that the technology is talking by itself. So just be sure that what you prepare or what you present is simple and is robust and is working. Okay, thanks a lot, Joel.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I cannot see more questions. I can also give you our contacts in case you want to reach us with any other question. I will type it into the chat as well.
I think that we have a generic that is market at EUSPA Europa EU, and in this email address we are a team. I mean, we are a team of almost 20 people, and I think that you can really ask and cross check with us, and of course, I mean, follow us using LinkedIn, Twitter, all these social networks. I am trying to use it. I have the impression that I am getting older because sometimes it's difficult. But I have to admit that it's very, very useful. I mean, I remember 3 years ago, I was not really using Twitter too much, but today with all this technology and all these things that we suffered in the last years, you realize that these tools are really working. So don't hesitate to follow EUSPA, to check the webpage, and to follow all of us, because at the end we are here to promote and to demonstrate that the satellite technology is already here, and the idea is to use it more and more. Okay. Okay, Ricardo, I am reading the question.
Yeah, Joaquin, feel free to take up the question as well. If you were an investor, which farming application areas would you invest? I think links in the system. It was not asked by Marquetta, but somebody in the crowd asked it. That is an interesting question, though.
Yeah. Maybe it happened. I forwarded my colleagues the Outlook invitation. Maybe it's the way that they connected from it. I'm not sure, but I was not asking the question, but I would address it anyway.
Okay, to Antoine Pison, I would recommend him to really contact us in the email, and then it's easier to follow up that if we want to write, because as I said, in market email address we are almost 20 people reading, so you have, let's say, higher chances to get the correct and the appropriate reply.
So, Joaquin, would you address the final one? If you were an investor, in which farming application or areas would you invest?
Whoa. If I were investing, I mean, I don't know what is what are the farming applications. What I can tell you, and this is also based, I think that what is getting more and more is the computer vision and the augmented reality. So this is basically able to, what we are talking about, robots, receivers, and so on, is really getting the behavior. So answering the question in a concrete way, I will invest in something that is able to transform this big data in smart data. So this is the important point, because it's not really useful to explain to the farmer that Copernicus is generating 20 terabytes of data per day. It's more useful to tell him or her that this data means this, this, and this. And what is red is bad, what is green is good. So something that is able to transform information, big data information, smart data information, cataloging and characterizing with colors, I think that is something that I will fully support. But okay, this is maybe my personal idea. I mean, I don't want to really say that this is the way, but this is what I will do. And for sure, here the use of space technology is already, let's say, needed. So I will never be able to do this without knowing the position and the Copernicus information.
Okay, so I think from the questions, it's all. So thank you very much, everyone, for participating, and Bram and Joaquin for make this happen.
I mean, it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Marketa. Thank you, Joaquin. Looking forward to the next one. Consumer Solutions and IoT, 1st of March.